Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video. And I did say to myself, after the tragic loss of Power Rangers Lightning Collection, which I absolutely adored that line, that I wasn't going to do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition. However, a visit to Smith's Toy Shop recently and seeing them in person actually changed my mind. And it's mainly about the size. That's why I wanted to get these, because this is going to be massive by the time I have finished building it. So I've started with Tyrannosaurus, Combinable Dinosaur, 4+. Well, I'm 40+, so I must count as a collector, right? Megazord Battle Ready. I think what this line is doing, it's not a premium line for premium collections, for collectors. This isn't the line that I as an adult want. However, it is a line that the child inside of me wants, remembering what it felt like to get those original Megazords and Dragonzords, you know, back when I was a kid. You know, I used to, you know, obsessively watch Power Rangers and the Animals of Five and Wood. Never forget that one in X-Men and Spider-Man. And there's probably some more that I watch, Transformers. Anyway, there's several things that I'd watch religiously, constantly as a child. And then I would go play with my toys. That's what I would do. And I'd try and reenact things. So this is bringing out my child in me. The thing that I do worry about this line, other than collectors picking these up, is it going to engage these new generations that us as parents have perhaps shared with our children? The worry is that this line doesn't sell well because the children are not interested. I mean, generally, children aren't really interested in toys at all these days. They're more interested in, Funko Pops and tablets and phones and, you know, apps and stuff like that. So anyway, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are 5 ordinary teens chosen to receive amazing abilities. They summon the spirits of their mighty Dinozords and morph into incredible Power Rangers. When evil aliens loom large, the Dinozords combine to form an even more colossal battle machine, the Megazord. Now, very cleverly, Playmates have sold these separately. So to buy 5, which they're about $19.99 each, that equals £100. Bear in mind, this is not perhaps a premium looking Megazord, but it is going to be bigger than, say, for example, your Zap Megazord. And as I review all 5, I will show comparisons as we go along so you can see the difference. And then you've got something here about completing your collection. Also, the Megazords, you know, they're not even transforming it properly. Do they even know what they're doing? Anyway, without ado, let's get Tyrannosaurus Rex out of his packaging. Okay, first he sort of arrives in the way he comes out of the packaging. He's sort of crunched up a bit, so I thought it easier for me to show what perhaps he would look like in tank mode. Obviously, as figures come in, I will show the various stages as we go along. And in terms of Megazord mode, it's very, very simple. You know, you fold all this stuff in like so. Let me zoom out slightly. Very simple. Bring the chest down, bring it forward, just like your childhood dreams, and then push that back into place. Very, very simple. And then obviously that would connect up there like so. So very, very easy in terms of doing that piece. Now I may need to zoom out again on this next piece, because this is where, can I zoom out? Have I done my zooming out already? Anyway, this is where it gets big, like really big. Bring the arms down like so, and try and get him into a position where he can actually hold his body weight. There we go. Go there. Ugh. Come on. Apologies. It was all going so well. until he got tall. There we go. And I will show you how tall he is. So, as you can tell, this is basically a kid's toy. This is what this looks like. However, it's better than some of the things we have seen released for kids rather than collectors. I think it is a lot better. I mean, the paint application, I mean, it just all looks like plastic, let's be honest. This is not your high-quality premium toy, which is what I said at the start. This, you know, I mean, even the green square looks really, really small. I feel like that should be filled. From what I understand, and I'm looking at my other T-Rex now, that sticker's been put on wrong, which is a little bit disappointing. And I feel like the eyes look a little bit dead, you know, and it would have been nice to have a sticker in the mouth as well. So I am being very critical, but I can also say that, well, the fact that this giant T-Rex is 20 pounds actually still seems very reasonable for what it is. You know, I could perhaps give this, have I got any nephews and kids this age? No, I do. I could give this to my nephew, and I suspect he will play with it as a dinosaur, not really understand what it's for. And then finding it very weird when he finds a giant head inside the Tyrannosaurus's head. I feel like the tail, I do worry about the tail being a little bit floppy. You can obviously push that in. Oh, all sorts of things happening now. Push that in so it's quite solid, but if you don't, it is just a big floppy mess. You know, movement, you got the arms that move up and down. You know, once again, would it have been cool if these moved a little bit more? I always felt like they get the Tyrannosaurus got done over with little baby hands, baby arms. But hey, it is what it is. And then, like the original toy, you've got these massive pegs here. There is no mechanism for hiding them, which I find a little bit disappointing, because I feel like that could have easily been achieved. And, you know, once you've got it there, that is as far as you'll get in those positions in there. So let me just downsize that again. And you can see there are lots of little pegs for lots of different things going on as well, where things are going to plug in. So there is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, in terms of height, let's look at him with a 6-inch figure. Okay, so before I bring in the figure, I just wanted to, so I sort of just crouched him a little bit to give him a bit more of a dynamic pose, which actually is difficult. One thing I would say is that this bottom jaw is just, look, loose. So you've got to get it to the right sort of pinching point in terms of how you want your Tyrannosaurus Rex to pose. I think most people, once they've got this all together, are going to pretty much have it in Megazord mode. So just in terms of height, so I brought in Precious Lightning Collection Red Ranger Remastered. There we go. I'll get him to sort of stand up. So you can see the sort of height, you know, 6-inch. Well, that's probably double the size, I guess, roughly, maybe, give or take. So bear in mind when he's a Megazord, he's going to have big, massive legs on him as well. So I just wanted to bring in the Red Ranger. And then the other thing that I promised before the end was just to show the difference between the Tyrannosaurus from the Zap Megazord. You know, you can, the scale is a massive difference. Don't get me wrong, the quality is in this figure. You know, you got I think you got some die cast stuff in there. You know, you got metal sort of stuff in there. You got paint apps that look absolutely superb. However, it is a different class. Now, this is going to be huge, and that's what drew me to buying this. I wasn't going to do it. I seriously wasn't going to do it. But when I saw the size of it, I thought, wow, that's bigger than the Zap Megazord. And then I was interested. That's all it took. You know, I can overlook, if people want to call it crappy plastic. It is what it is for a $20 toy, but I could certainly overlook it. Yeah, I mean, let's just bring in a Red Ranger as well. This, you know, look at that. Massive difference. Massive difference as well. So anyway, that is pretty much it. I could ramble on all day, but I don't think it's required. I think it's now up to you. If you are going to decide to buy this, whether you brought it, let me know what you think. I really like to hear what you think. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like my channel. Really appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed already. And as always, embrace the geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.